guys. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to take my glasses off so that I can read my notes that are printed really big because I'm getting old. So it means I won't be able to see you guys anymore. Once I take the glasses off, it'll just be a blur, just a blur. But thank you all for coming. Hi. Hi. Thanks. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm just going to put them up here. Okay. Woosa. I love that word. The dim light of darkness becomes sunshine. Oh, it's working. Okay. So let me just make one little thing. I'm not going to talk about those pictures. It's just there for your entertainment. But at some point, at some point, I will be talking about some images, and you'll recognize that when we get there. But for now, just enjoy. All right, back to my sentence. The dim light of darkness becomes sunshine. In our darkest hours, when everything seems so dim, light remains, albeit faint and shadowed within uncertainty. Koorsoo, defined within Persian culture as a faint glimmer of hope. I interpret Koorsoo not as hope, but trust, a quiet certainty that lives within the soul of our inner head, our memory, our experiences, and the lineages of our arrival. For me, Koorsoo is not so much a rebellion against despair, but a foundational way of being that protects the mind, body, and soul from despair. I invite us to consider how even the smallest light is a forward motion, asking each of us to believe in ourselves and our communities. My personal journey with the ideal of trust as opposed to the ideal of hope. I'm going to try not to tell people that I hate that word. My personal journey with the ideal of trust as opposed to the ideal of hope is centered within my spiritual and artistic practice, which are the same, in that one is my personhood that I define as actions coupled with my beliefs, and the other is my creative studio practice that I also define as actions coupled with my beliefs. I don't separate these seemingly different forms of being or doing. In fact, I consciously exist without separating things in my life. So important. The first way I achieve this non-compartmentalization is with my understanding that words have power. Our verbalization of words carries their power forward. In my practice, this is called ofo ashe. So Yoruba word, but ofo ashe translates to the power of the spoken word. So, with this understanding, I speak using words for their maximum power. A great example of this, I never use the word hope again. I was going to say it. I'm going to try not to tell you how much I hate that word. I never use the word hope because I hate it. I really do. All right, I'm sorry. I deem it one of the most powerless words in the English language. The word hope does not offer the user any agency. To move your world forward, there needs to be not only human agency, but the agency of the words used by us as humans. And to be sure, this concept of the use of words in the making of the world is universal. We can find this in the Bible verse, John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and da-da-da-da-da. You guys can fill in the rest. In the Yoruba Ifa verse of Eji Ogbe, it speaks of Ofo Ashe, again, translation, power of the spoken word. In the Holy Odu Eji Ogbe, it informs us that our thoughts, words, and actions form our experiences, and thus there needs to be a recognition of harmony between what we think, what we say, and what we do to effectuate what we desire. So you can see why using hope is not going to get you far. Okay, it's really not, guys, trust me. My second approach to seamless living is knowing that as a person, I am deserving of good fortune. Happenstance or luck are not pathways or causes of good fortune. I know that's shocking. Okay, based again on Yoruba philosophy, good fortune arrives by means of the human head. If a person experiences bad fortune, it is expressed as iniyan yi yan ori buburu, which translates, that person picked a bad head. So, I really, yeah. You want me to say that for you guys again? I don't even know if I said it correctly in Yoruba, but ini yan yi yan ori bubu uru, meaning the person picked a bad head. So your head, which we call ori, is a significant component to your journey and your destiny, all right? So a person's lot in life is determined by their character, what is called iwapeli, good character. Again, if you have bad character, you picked a bad head. This is your fault. You don't get to blame this on somebody else, okay? Because in the Yoruba concept of things, you actually do pick your head. So that's another long conversation I won't get into, but you are selecting this. Okay, so hence you are always choosing. One chooses how you display your character, how you use your words, how you honor your head. All these impact on your outcome, okay? You do this to remain aligned with your destiny, which is very important. So you're picking this head, and you're picking a destiny, and you're going out in the world, and you actually don't remember what you picked and what you just said you were going to do. But anyway, you go through the world, all the things that are in your head, you have an opportunity to tap back into them and get some answers, and you're just trying to live a life that has alignment, that is aligned with the destiny that you've chosen to live out. So, hence, this is in alignment with my destiny this morning, as I picked a good head, guys. Anyway, all right, so you do this to stay in alignment. So as an example, while I do not have an insight into what will occur during the course of my day when I wake up, got no idea, even though I am psychic, but I still don't have a clue what will happen. It's my job to ensure the best possible outcomes by honoring my head when I wake up. So when I wake up, I have a set of prayers that I pray. And I tap the ground. I tap the ground to affirm those prayers. And all of those things are done in the realm of, whatever ethereal, magical process you want to add to that. But those things take place so that at the end of my day, I can look back and know that I had a fucking great day. Whatever that means, but it's important. So there's this alignment. It's a daily thing, and anybody can go off alignment. It's very easy, particularly now. But which is why it's even more important to find ways to stay aligned with yourself and where it is you're trying to go in the world. Okay, so. Let me find where I lost my spot. Okay. In traditional Yoruba culture, the head is a person's personal god. So I'm just going to go on. All right, but I'll say it again. In Yoruba culture, or traditional Yoruba culture, that's a very important distinction, the head is a person's personal god. And it is the human head that connects a person to all things, particularly the flow of spiritual forces which emanate from the earth as opposed to the sky, another very important distinction. Wherever it is desired, whatever is desired in life, your head must agree to it, otherwise the desire cannot be obtained. So very importantly, I use this example with Tracy, if you want to give me $1 million, believe me, I'm going to accept it. But let's just say that for some reason, I don't know why this would occur, but let's say my head is not in agreement with this. I won't get that $1 million. I just won't. Because, I would have to talk with my head like, why the hell would you not agree to that? But if it was, for some reason, not in agreement, I wouldn't get it. So, just saying. But if you, no, please, bring it now. Um, so anyway, it's important to have this seamless relationship with your head. Again, the holder of your thoughts, pathway of the words that come out of your mouth, the channel for the ears that re-turn your words back into your head, and holder of your soul and destiny. All are contained within your human head. So how does knowing this, holding these beliefs direct my art? This is where you're going to stop watching this in a minute. My art is predicated upon my personhood. I'm going to see what happens here. Oh, there it is. You're wondering. I did not make that. I did not invent that. Just full disclaimer. Okay, all right. So how does all this affect my art? My art is predicated upon my personhood. I do not confuse personhood with identity. For me, identity are those superficial external phenotypes that society employs for power and control among humans. It has nothing to do with a human's personhood. Another way to think of identity is to picture a disjointed Rubik's Cube, multiple colors that have multiple meanings that in the process of matching up are sometimes misaligned and always seeking to be rearranged or adjusted to fit in. The framework of identity keeps one's personhood from having location. I do not view myself as a dislocated human. In essence, I am always at home, at ease with myself and the world, despite its chaos. When I translate my philosophy into my art practice, I am seeking to allow others to find location. It is my faint glimmer of trust that when the viewer looks at my work, which I'm going to talk about right now, when the viewer looks at my work, they can do so beyond identifiers and locate humanity and make a connection with my humanity. And I have a few examples. So, starting with this image here, it is called, cannot say this word correctly, I think it is Iepe, Vini, Vidi, Vici, which translates to the birds are all here, I came, I saw, I conquered. This is actually a very large piece of work. I don't know if the next one is going to, nope. Okay, I'm going to go back. All right, so what you're looking at, and I think there's a way to point. This thing? Oh, this thing. Okay, oh, I like this part. Well, this is fun. Okay, so what you're looking at right here, this round thing is a big giant ear. I know it's hard to see right now. It's okay. Just think about your ear. So I love ears. So it's a big giant ear covered in flocking. Flocking is that material that's fake velvet, and it's inside of all of your mother's and grandmother's jewelry boxes. That smooth little covering inside the wood box, that's what flocking is, which I actually love that stuff too. But anyway, okay, so to make this go along, this ear rotates, and I don't have a thing to help you see it rotate. So we're all creative, we're going to use our imagination. So it's a haptic sculpture installation that implies sound via the flight of the birds. So when the ear rotates, it hits these, I know, somebody got it. It hits these wires, these brass wires that have these lovely little porcelain birds on them. And the birds sort of like move. But the rotation is rather imperceptible. So you're not really sure if something is moving, and that's the trick of it. So because you're not sure something is moving, and it's actually on a round wooden table, what I have observed, I like silently always like observe people observing my art, and they don't know that I'm the maker, which is cool. So, but what I have observed, and I do it because I need to figure out if my ideals are working, because when you're in the studio, they're all working because they're just like right there in your head, but they might not really be working. So I have to like observe the situation. But anyway, the thing rotates very, 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 very ever so slow and slightly. And what it does is it makes the person who is observing it, it makes the person walk the circumference of the table, because they're trying to figure out, is this really moving? And what they don't realize is that the sculpture is designed to make the person enter its orbit as opposed to the opposite. So it was, I'm going to say it was successful. Okay? So in this, I use titles to sort of draw the audience in, and so you have this admixture of European titles or European words mixed with Yoruba words, and it's sort of this perspective. From a European perspective, it's not Africans who came and conquered, and from an African perspective, these birds are symbols of the potent feminine force in the universe. So you're using these combination of things, and then you're drawing people into the orbit of the sculpture. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. And I think it does this. Okay, so this is, most of my things are designed to interact with the audience, and this is a voice-activated sculpture, and it was just a concept sculpture. I needed to figure out if it could work. Again, I'm always testing, can things work? Do they do what I want them to do? And again, this was successful. So what happens is there is a voice activation device behind the ears, behind the boxes. And if anybody can get me in touch with the box company in Teaneck, New Jersey, I'd be very happy, because I want to expand this now that I know it works. But these little ears, which again, I love ears. Ignore the balls. I don't know what was going on in my head about that part, but I have no idea. But when it was on display, when people began to approach it or talk, the ears can hear you. And then the ears responded with mumbo, mumbo, which, can you say it for us? I was actually talking to that guy in the back who speaks Yoruba, but it's okay. You guys did good. It's good. You did good. You did good. You did good. It was great. Okay, so what it means, what it means is I hear you. It's a very ubiquitous word that you hear throughout Nigeria as you're moving around. People are always saying mumbo, 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 and they say it all kinds of different ways. It can mean something as quiet and gentle as, yes, I hear you. It can mean something as rude as, shut up, I heard you. So it's all in the tonality of how it's said. And so these little things basically hear the ambient sound, and then they start repeating mumbo, mumbo, mumbo in various ways. So the goal is to make thousands of these, minus the balls. And I don't need to do, I don't know, I think I was having like a, what's the guy with the dripping clock? A Salvador Dali. Yeah, I think I was having a Salvador Dali moment, and I was making the ears drip off the ball or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, but that's the premise. That's the premise of it, and it's to just have this cacophony of sound, and to have this way in which the audience and the art are in conversation with each other. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. All right, this one has never been exhibited. It was kind of, okay, another thing that I really love is bananas. I don't really eat a lot of bananas, I just like them. I like them sculpturally, let me just put it that way. I never get around to eating the bananas before they go brown. I don't like that. I just, so I get like really, 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 really green bananas so that I can eventually get to them before they turn too ripe. But anyway, but art-wise, I love bananas. So this is obviously a signpost. It's got 21 bananas on it, and it's this thing about direction and misdirection, and I don't know, I was just kind of testing it out again, my lovely use of flocking. But I put it up here to be able to just show that I think in the creative process, sometimes you do things that just never see the light of day. This is one of those things that just never saw the light of day. It's in storage somewhere. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna keep moving here. All right, this is like one of my favorite sculptures. So it's called Joy's Ogede. And just to make that make sense with the banana, the word for banana is ogede. If you say the word ogede, again with different tones, I'm tone deaf, so I don't know what the tones are in Yoruba. That's why when I'm there, nobody talks to me. So no, they don't. They don't talk to me. And they don't let me talk in there in Yoruba because it just comes out and they're like, what is she saying? What is she saying? So, but I use it a lot in my art practice. So the word ogede, depending on how you say it, can either mean banana or it can mean incantation. I know, isn't that great? It's like, wow. So, joy's ogede, joy's banana. Joy is me. That's my other name that no one ever uses or knows except for my family. I just can't get them to stop doing that. But my birth name is Joy. So in this sculpture, what it is that you have this votive room. It's 6 feet by 6 feet. It's all made out of red yarn. And inside, here's my little pointer. Inside right here is a bench, okay? And on this far wall is a box, and I'll show you in a minute what's in that box. If you decide to enter this room, you can sit down. But because this bench is covered in flocking, it makes you hesitate. So there's always like questions and opportunities to engage and not engage, and it's making the viewer process how they should respond. So if they decide to sit down, and the reason that they would question sitting down is because the bench, which is really a very nice, strong bench, covered in flocking, doesn't look strong. It looks very genteel. And so there's a hesitation. So let's say someone takes up my offer and they go and they sit on this bench. But then they want to see what's inside the box. So, and I'm going to go to the next thing. So this is what's inside the box. This is... So I've combined my love for bananas and ears, and I now have this listening banana. So I'm going to just go back for a minute. If you sit on the bench, you can't see what's in the box. So you are forced to sit on the edge of the bench. So you have to sit on the edge of the bench and you have to do this, which is in essence a type of a bow to be able to see inside the box. So the point is, and the whole little subtle haptic journey with this is questioning authority, it's questioning who gets to access things, how you access them, and whether or not people are willing to participate in something that is completely outside of your realm or your point of reference for things. I don't think everybody has a point of reference for a banana with an ear on it. However, I will tell you that at the end of this exhibition, someone stole the banana. No, be happy. I'm so happy for them. I am so happy for them. I do not know who it is. Someone in Louisiana, that's as much as I know. It was exhibited in Louisiana. I'm going to assume that they still live in Louisiana. But what it said to me when the gallery called to tell me that it was missing, and they were so apologetic, and I was just laughing. And they were like, well, why is that funny to you? And I'm like, It's great. It's just great. It means that that person really resonated with it, and also they didn't take the box, because I really needed the box. I really do not want them to take the box, and so you can't actually see the beauty of the box. But the box is really, really beautiful, and I did not want to have to look for another box. So I was happy that they took the banana. Because again, in a larger sense, all objects have this energy, and all objects have the ability to travel. And so the fact that they swiped the banana and took it or wherever, either they had more conversation that they needed to have with it than could be had in the course of the exhibition, or they just fell in love with it and just wanted to travel with the banana. I have no idea, but I was very happy that it was. I was happy that it was stolen, and I don't really think of it as stolen. I think of it as it just went traveling with someone else, and so anyway, I made another banana. It's okay. Okay, so all right. I'm moving along here. See how fast I'm going? I'm going good. All right, so this sculpture is called Mojo, and it is, we tried to kind of enlarge it for you, but I could use my pointer. All right, so I'm gonna do this for you. See this line, these little white lines? So this is chalk that outlines the universe. You didn't know the universe could just look like that, huh? So it outlines the universe on the floor, and then these steel rods are drilled into the floor, or I drilled holes into the floor and put those rods. And then you have these upside down lids. And inside each of the lid is a pattern. And the pattern is one of 256 possible patterns, which are called Odu. Odu is the mechanism by which, in a traditional Europe perspective, we understand the world. And these patterns were, whoever designed this, I should explain, this starts out as a piece of paper. It's just a flat drawing. This drawing with these patterns is just on a piece of paper that everyone in my spiritual community had this thing. It's actually has a name. It's called Garden of Command. Garden of Command. And it was done by a gentleman, Metahochi, who designed it to be an amplification of your prayers. And so my goal was to figure out, how could I make that three-dimensional? It was just two-dimensional. It hung over my shrines, and I really loved it. And I thought, but I want other people to be able to like amplify, you know? And so I figured out how to do this three-dimensionally. These are cast iron lids. So it's actually the lid of my actual shrine pot that held my little spiritual implements. And anyway, so I made these using the lost wax practice, which is what I'm actually trained to do, but I like making bananas with ears as well. So, but using the lost wax process and casting these in iron. So if you were to stand in front of this and project your prayers, this magical space would amplify them into the universe. It's called Mojo because in Southern culture, Southern hoodoo, people might know Mojo from the blues and what is the most famous line, got my mojo, but my mojo ain't working on you, or something like that. But my mojo works. So anyway, taking that title, so in the Southern concept, mojo becomes an object. It becomes this talisman that you can keep with you, or someone has made for you, or you've made to sort of amplify and effectuate your world. So the same thing is happening with these pots. And I'm going to show you one more picture of this, because sometimes galleries don't want to drill holes in their floors. Imagine that. I know, I'm like, what's up with that? But anyway, they did a good job of drawing the world on the floor and just placing the pots in their respective places, which is actually more to how it would look in that two-dimensional setting. So this is a good way for you guys to kind of get that. All right, so this is this is a more recent work. It also has ears. I am learning how to weave. And so this is the first weaving that I ever made. It's called The Anonymous Ears of Humanity. And you can, oops, well here, this is a good one. So you can see where there's these ears. I also have a thing for eggshells. And so it's pretty much, again, this opportunity to engage in terms of understanding that there's always something hearing you, there's always something listening, there's always something that's also answering you. But it depends on, your voice, your talk, your words, and what you hear, and hearing that in a way that makes it communal, what you hear, what you feed back about what you hear, and so forth. So I have to say that I have to go now. I think that's it. There is one more, but I'm good. So I'm good? Oh, I can tell you one more? Okay, so this is called When the Chickens Come Home to Roost. And I'm gonna see so that when you're looking at these things hanging, that's what you're seeing is a bunch of ceramic shards with imprinted chicken feathers. And I now know that not all my feathers were from chickens, but it's okay. It's still called When the Chickens Come Home to Roost. And so the title was taken from the phrase that Malcolm X used upon the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And it's not so much about that as much as it is about the fact that he made that phrase or used that phrase or stated that phrase. It became his Rubicon in his relationship with the Nation of Islam, and basically eventually got him booted out and eventually gets him assassinated. But my point of using that phrase was to question or to bring a question to the audience as to where is our individual Rubicon? Where do we draw the line in which we go to a point for which we cannot come back from? Which is what Rubicon means. I know people are looking at me thinking like, is that the Jeep? What is she talking about? So I have this little thing where I know that words are happening. So when I see the names of cars, I'm always looking them up because I'm like, what are they trying to say to me about this car? So Rubicon, that Jeep, it really means that you go to this point. It's kind of like the line in the sand. You cross it, and it's no coming back from it. And so for Malcolm X crossing that line, saying that phrase, there was no coming back for him. So for me, it's a video installation that was at the Harwood, and up in here is the video, and it is of Buffalo, Niagara Falls water, the Niagara Falls water, and chickens from my friend who lives in Pecos who has chickens. And so they're just kind of seamlessly put together or layered over top of each other. And I think for me, it was just trying to answer or question this, this point of no return. How do we, where is it for each person? How might we get there? How might we, wait for something to arrive to help us get there? There's all these kind of things, and I probably said it better if I just read it to you, but I didn't. So just in following along, that is what was kind of happening there. And this time, I think I really am done. And there you can go to my website and you can see more of my work. And thank you guys for coming. Thank you. Thank you. So.